What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Zelda Speedruns and welcome to the ALttPR Crossworld Keysanity tournament. And we finally made it to the brackets and we are in round 1 and we got the first match of the tournament, and that's Namefaker89 versus Cheamo or Cheamo. I'm not entirely sure how his name is pronounced, but that doesn't really matter. As we will just look at the gameplay and not at the names. So let's move over to the layout and let's say hi to the commentators for today, to Cool Popabell2282 and to Haiku Type. Hey, what's up?
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
I am excited to get started here with the bracket stages of Cross Keys. The qualifiers were a lot of fun, but the bracket stages should be even better. So, who's excited?
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to be starting any second now.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
Alright, so we're off. Namefaker had to, or Cheamo rather, had to get his name in there at the last second. We have Bombs in Sanctuary, which is a nice start. You can immediately go to the drop if it's available. It is not. Cheamo is doing... No, I'm sorry, Namefaker is doing an opening that I actually like to do sometimes that I never see anyone else do. I think Jake Coper invented it, more or less. But it's coming over here, getting a couple kills north of Lake Hylia, trying to work the pool tiers.
Yeah, and get a couple little out-of-the-way entrances here just northwest of Lake Hylia as well. Meanwhile, Cheamo has found a mini Moldorm cave at the Smith's House entrance and the potion shop in Kakariko Village. That's also nice to know where it is.
Yeah. So we got to check on Lake Hylia Island. It's nothing. And Namefaker is going to go through desert. There is one free chest and one hint available right away. He can also scout the torch item. Cheamo actually went in there. I don't think he has a kill, so he couldn't have done it. But there is a portrait on the wall of Mario that is actually a pool location.
Interesting. Cheamo finding an entrance into the inside of Hyrule Castle there at the Chicken Hut. That's some interesting connectors through there and a lot of items in the front of Escape.
Yeah, Namefaker is here in desert. There are a couple pots with magic. It is very valuable to get a couple early magic pots. So we skipped a couple there in the room with the map chest.
Meanwhile, the small key to desert is in the back of the tavern, so that's good to find early. We'll open up 2 more checks once we get those 2 put together.
Yeah, so strategically, this is a little bit of an aggressive play going into a connector like this early. There is a hint in an item, but I personally like to
Ganon's
delay
Tower
connectors a little bit, so I have something before going through. And yeah, we have Ganon's Tower over on Cheamo's side.
Yeah, it's also just easier to keep track of where the connectors go if you sort of, kill all of the Kakariko entrances first and then go back and see where the connectors take you, because otherwise you just sort of branch out in too many different directions and you can't keep track of it all.
Yeah, so we have Desert Center exiting on West Death Mountain, West Light Death Mountain. This is a valuable place to find early because the Old Man exit is guaranteed to be somewhere here on the mountain. It could be on Hera and inaccessible right now, but it's likely to be accessible. And the Old Man rescue is possible right now in the dark. And it's very valuable to get that extra save and quit point, which has both the front, which you can exit right away, and it's also a connector, so you can go through the back. So you sort of get 2 extra locations. You can start on the overworld if you find if you rescue the Old Man early.
Yeah, absolutely. Any of those item checks that you can find where they're supposed to be in some sense are very convenient to have in entrance rando. Looks like we have a vanilla well today.
Yeah. So Namefaker is here in a dark room. He's been in here a while. Many experienced players just memorize an input sequence to get through this cave in the dark. I'm not sure. Okay, so he was not able to get the old man right away.
Yeah, it's tough without a sword. I have never managed it without something to follow on my path through there. Ooh, the well is loaded. Got the flute and the lamp.
Yeah, so Chemo's going to have a real easy time getting the old man. I think I saw something on Namefaker's screen that means he actually got through to the second room, so I think he's got the old man with him now.
A couple other bits of information to keep track of. The hint in Desert told us that the King's Tomb entrance is a connector. Not especially exciting, but we also have a big key on the torch in Ganon's tower to keep track of once we find our boot.
Yeah. Okay, so Namefaker wasn't able to work through that cave, so he saves and quits. And we have Hype Cave actually being somewhat useful today.
Yeah, that's a pretty hype cave.
Yeah, so this is unfortunate. Namefaker has saved and quit, but once you grab the old man, which he must have done now, because he starts in the dark, it sets a hard save and quit point. So he will not be able to get out of this cave until he successfully exits and returns the old man. He could actually restart the game over. 5 minutes in, that would hurt a little bit, but not be disastrous.
And does it restart you in the middle of the cave, or back at like the entrance to Death Mountain from the normal light?
It restarts you at the point where you grab the old man.
Right, Cheamo, meanwhile, is going to head back into Mini Moldorm Cave now that he's found that hook shot. That's a fairly reliable weapon for killing these Moldorms, at least.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure it's just pronounced Cheamo.
Okay.
Wow, so Chemo's just finding an avalanche of items here in the 2 5-item caves. Alright, and there we go. So Namefaker is out with the old man. He's got 2 hearts, so he should be able to survive at least 1 boulder hit. There we go.
Yeah, just 100 rupees is not going to feel good for as long as that, as much trouble as that.
Yeah, the much more valuable thing is getting that save and quit point. Unfortunately, as we have seen on Chemo's side, it's going to be very easy for him to do that with the flute and the lamp. So he's lost a bit of time doing that. Alright, so Cheamo walks into Agony's cave without a bomb to open the wall to get the chest.
It's always the frustrating thing in entrance rando, because you can never really prepare for entrances like this. You just never know when they're going to come up.
Alright, so we see the mushroom at the race game. That item at the race game will often only be available using the mirror, unless that left side happens to end up as a connector. So Chemo's going to flute away. Best move is probably the mountain at this point. Alright, he'll grab the bottle vendor item. Didn't quite have money while he was there first time. Yeah, so he's continuing to the Lost Woods area. Having found the well already, I would not be as excited to come back here and check the drops. He's going to spend $100, 100 rupees rather, getting a bomb upgrade. That is a nice thing to have early.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you run out of bombs once, you try and prevent that from ever happening again. And Namefaker is going to be right behind him in collecting this treasure trove of items that CAC had for us today. So.
So early game, you want to establish your drops. You want to find Ganon to know if you can just blind drop into the secret passage where the uncle normally is. And you want to find out what is at the pyramid drop to know how valuable going up the top Ganon's tower and beating Aghanim 2 is. And the early items continue. We get the Cane of Samaria on the uncle in the Lost Woods.
Yes, the Skullwoods big key was on the bottle vendor item, which Cheamo had.
Alright, so this is one of the hints in Entrance, which is unique to Entrance at this point. There are, I believe, 5 NPCs that will give you hints. 4 of them will sell it to you. The broccoli-looking guy in the room that looks like Sahasra's building will give it to you for free.
Yeah, that was a very good hint right there that tells us where the Palace of Darkness is at the Vanilla Ice Palace entrance. Yeah, and I really like this addition to Entrance Randomizer because all of those caves were just sort of useless before, but this is a really nice addition, I think.
Yeah, so we see at the Lumberjack drop the useless fairy. That is just a fairy fountain. So we will not have to do Aghanim 1 for, at least not for any items in that drop. So Namefaker is going to make his way back to Mini Moldorm Cave, it looks like. Yeah, so we see the Lumberjack drop here at Sanctuary. It is nothing. I believe that was just a heart piece.
Yeah, that's always a interesting thing to check on all these drop downs. You're really hoping that Lumberjack is not something useful to make you have to do Aga 1, and you really hope that the Pyramid is nothing useful so that you don't have to do Aga 2.
So we get the magic bat where the useless fairy usually is. We are missing Ganon and... Oh, so he has the powder. Yeah, Cheamo has the powder already, so we can check this. We are missing Ganon and one
the
other
Lost
drop.
Woods. Yeah,
So one of those is at the castle, and one of those is at the top of the pyramid.
So 50-50 at this point on seeing Aga 2 today.
And so Cheamo's going to set up here to Houlihan. He's going to get 225 rupees. And then he'll probably check the Uncle Secret Passage drop. There is a hint tile here in the Houlihan room. It is not given a useful hint because it's determined that dropping here is already useful for 225 rupees. Alright, somebody who sounds like they know says it should be Cheamo. That's how we should be pronouncing his name, is that
Cheamo.
right?
We're very bad at this. I think Cheamo is what they were, or with a CH.
Cheamo. Yeah, Cheamo.
Okay. So, Cheamo found the inside of Spectacle Rock Cave there, which is another possible connector if you drop down and head out. But again, wanting to check some more entrances in this area before following that.
So we've got the vanilla 10 bomb item here in the chicken hut. Got bombs on the bush crab, that's nice. And chicken hut was there at the dam. Cheamo, in my opinion, is a little late getting up to the mountain. I would like to get that item and rescue the old man right away to have that save and quit point.
Yeah, plus there's the exit out that door that you never quite know where that's going to take you once you save and quit there. We'll see how much we can get done in Tower of Hera. About as much as I expected.
Yep, there's 2 items and a hint available right away in Hera. You need the big key to get 2 more chests and another hint upstairs, and then you need a sword or hammer to beat the boss.
So we do see our 2 runners following pretty much the same route. Namefaker is hitting all these same entrances along the north side of the light world, while Cheamo has finished those up already.
And Cheamo just found the bottom of the Spectacle Rock Cave drop there near the desert. He almost looks like he was going to set up for a major glitch, but not sure he knows it. Alright, so he has found the bumper cave here. It is in logic to go through this cave with the hookshot. You can use your hookshot through the bumper, and that can be required by logic. So he did not do that. He's fluting away to 7 now.
Yeah, again, might just be wanting to check all the basic entrances before he starts following connectors. And at least with the flute, that'll be easy to get back to when he wants to.
So we see the upgrade ferry here north of Kakariko, and both players have now bought a 5 bomb capacity upgrade, which also refills your bomb capacity to full. Yeah, so Cheamo has now checked the mini Moldrum cave. That can be a little bit awkward, sort of isolated cave to check once you have the flute. And he's going to the Ice Rod Cave area, which has 3 entrances that he can get right away now that he has a glove.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's really nice to get that glove early so you don't isolate this one cave over here.
Yeah, if you don't get a glove early, I like to go to the eastern area because there's nothing that's hard locked by a glove. And we find Saucerel and get the information that Misery Mire is the green pendant. Blue Mail early without the mirror is a mixed blessing. It'll give you some survivability, but it can make death warps harder.
Ooh, and Blind's Hut. Lots of items over here in the Ice Rod area.
Yeah, so one of the things you like to keep track of at entrance is how many of the 5-item caves you have found, namely Hype Cave, Mini Moldrum Cave, and Blind's Hut here. And this is now the 3rd. They have found all 3 of them.
Not too much over here for all the items that were here. We just found Blue Mail and the Eastern Palace Big Key that are really exciting.
So Namefaker is generally following in Cheamo's footsteps, a little bit behind due to that long desert play. Alright, that is a very nice hint. We got the, this cave is normally in the Dark Ice Rod Cave area. That has a hint tile. It tells us that the Ganon's Tower Big Chest is useless. It can be a high anxiety play to go to the bottom of Ganon's tower and have to orphan that chest. So now they will not have to do that.
Yeah,
Or not
one
have to
fetch
worry
quest
about
we
that,
can
rather.
check off the list at least.
Alright, so Namefaker also leaves Bumper Cave without going through the bumper.
And Cheamo is going to track down this, or chase down this Desert Palace small key. These are 2 new item checks on the right-hand side that we haven't seen. Namefaker was here before without that.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons I like to defer going through Desert Palace. I like to try to wait for 1 or 2 of the keys so I can full clear the back before I go in here at all. So Cheamo's going to have an advantage, sort of being able to get the Hinton item plus the right side in his first pass, and he will only leave the big chest for later. So we have a discussion going here in chat whether the maps are logically required to beat the dungeon. That is not the case, as confirmed by the current main developer, Amazing Ampharos, in chat.
I'm glad to hear that from the source. I've heard it both ways from many different people, but I'm pretty sure Ampharos knows what they're talking about.
So Cheamo is going to check the desert main entrance. This exited on West Death Mountain. So he'll be able to, yeah. So he should have a much easier time rescuing the old man here in a minute.
Ooh, and another connector over here. The good news for Namefaker is there was not actually anything exciting on the right side of Desert Palace, just another heart. So he won't be missing out on any items if it takes him a while to go back there, but it's still definitely going to be weighing on his mind that those items are floating around.
Yeah, so we see the race game connector, the Quarreling Brothers connector, it's called. It's a bombable wall and a short connector. People have varying opinions on that, whether they like to go through it right away and risk being locked out when they have otherwise useful things to check on their current overworld position. Cheamo opts out. He does not check it right away. Excuse me.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. Like you said before, since you know the old man is going to be around here, definitely want to track that down as soon as you can.
I actually personally like to check it, and I certainly would have in this position because they have the flute, so they can get right back here on the overworld. So I would have checked it while I was in there.
Namefaker, meanwhile, finding Super Bunny Cave. I'm not sure where this entrance was that got him here, but not much there, but another connector out the back, if he wants to check that out. Oh, not from this direction.
Yeah, this is a one-way connector. You cannot go through it this way. But it is nice to find this side because it's a long connector to go through otherwise. So you'd rather find the top and just get the items quickly and never have to take this long connector. So Namefaker's checking out the Eastern Palace area now. Cheamo is going to have the option of checking one of the connectors he's found, or hookshotting over to East Death Mountain. We find the Turtle Rock Big Chest entrance at Eastern Palace. That can be that is the only way to get to the Turtle Rock Big Chest. That can be a connector you're looking for a while sometimes.
Yeah, we are seeing the silvers on top of Death Mountain. So those will be easily available once we find that mirror. And there's the Aga Tower.
Yeah, Cheamo doesn't really have a convenient weapon to kill those two ball and shade guards. It would be bombs or Samari, and that would be a bit awkward. And this place is easy to get back to, so he's going to opt out of that for now.
Yeah, he does have the one key, so those 2 items are theoretically available, but that would just take more time than it's worth, as you say, with his current weapon.
Alright, so we have another 2-item cave here. We have found quite a number of the single entrance item caves already. It's going to be time to go into dungeons here in a minute. It's going to be the most value by far in dungeons.
Yes, he's been very generous with the item caves, but the items themselves have slowed down. In particular, we're still looking for our first sword at this point, despite all of these item caves that we've managed to track down.
So Namefaker took the drop here in Spectral Rock. I think he's actually seen the other side, so this might have been a bit of a mistake here.
Yeah, they've definitely both seen that one.
Alright, so we see a dark connector there on Cheamo's side, and Namefaker might show us where the old man entrance is. Yeah, here we go. That is very valuable. That is a very nice place for the old man connector. You must go in that entrance to, or you must come out that exit to mirror and get the item on top of the floating island. And that gives you access, once you get the mirror, to all of Death Mountain from a very convenient exit.
Meanwhile, Cheamo finding the fire rod inside the back of Skull Woods. That's a heck of a place for that. Unfortunately, cannot fight Mocula right now because he has no sword to open up the vines in the back.
And on Namefaker's side, the Spectacle Rock hint gave us the information that the flippers are in Ganon's tower.
That fire rod does open up a few more checks in Ganon's tower. Oh, wait, we don't have a GT key. I was going to say we've got Kane and fire rod for the right side, but we need a key to get into the tile room even.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure what the key logic is, but there can be quite a number of small keys required before you can do anything at all on the right side. Alright, here we go. We found yet another item-dense location, the Turtle Rock Laser Bridge.
And speaking of being out of logic, this is not in logic without some sort of invincibility item or the mirror shield, but that typically does not bother most.
Yeah, it is a very important skill to be able to skip these lasers without boots, because you can find this early and you want these 4 items right away. So Namefaker's going to die. What he actually should do here is continue through the back and get the crystal roller chest, because that is available from here. He does not do it. Alright, so Cheamo also found the Turtle Rock Big Chest. You can also go through that as a connector to the laser eye wall exit. You can be required by logic to do that, and they have the items.
Yeah, and from there you can also get back to the chain chomp chest as well without any keys, or really any equipment at all.
Yeah, the chain chomp chest is in logic right away as soon as you find the laser eye wall exit, or with the hook shot or Samaria to get to the big chest once you find that entrance, and they have both of those. So the chain chomp chest is in logic right now.
Namefaker, meanwhile, is back in Agina's cave with a bomb this time that Cheamo did not have when he was there.
Yeah, I'm not sure Cheamo returned to get this item. Alright, so we've got one Ganon's tower key. We could actually waste that on the middle door, so that doesn't put anything in logic right away.
Right.
Alright, so now we are getting our check on the secret passage drop. This will tell us where Ganon is. Either he's here or at the pyramid.
Oh, Vanilla Ganon.
Yeah, so they're going to have to beat Aghanim to this seed.
Yeah, and Forrest mentioning in chat that they could do full right-sided GT. It's definitely an interesting decision, right? I think the runners are both opting that they would prefer to have the hammer before they go back to Ganon's tower, so they can just clear pretty much everything while the hammer and a couple more keys, a key or two. But yeah, it's definitely an option. But since it's out of logic right now, I think they're assuming it's not going to be anything vital. So they would rather make some other checks first. We'll see how that decision pans out for them.
Yeah, personally, with that with the hint that the Ganon's Tower Big Chest is nothing, I would want to go to Ice Armos right away, just because it is so many chests. And it would be all part of one move going to the right side and then Ice Armos. It would hurt quite a bit to have these weapons. I would end up using Samaria, and that would be a slow fight, but I would still do it because it is a item dense location that I will not have to double dip at this point. And we find almost vanilla castle here at the castle center entrance is actually the castle right interior.
And yeah, neither of our runners has done Front of Escape yet, although they have both seen it now. Cheamo's going to show us these checks back here. Yeah, and our runners do have a green potion in that first bottle that they found, so that would even help out with Ice Armos with magic-based weapons.
So Cheamo has it so burned into his brain doing escape from the left side that he went over to the left side. You can actually go straight to the bottom of escape from the right side going north. But he gets the mirror in the first chest. That is maybe the most valuable item in Entrance, because it gives you so much efficiency checking the overworld and access to places you wouldn't other normally have. You wouldn't other... Whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that's where that old man exit is going to come in very handy, because you can get right to Floating Island. We now have access to the top of East Death Mountain in the Light World as well. Lots of options that mirror gives you.
Yeah, so for those who have been seeing some perhaps overworld glitches matches, fake flute and various other major glitches are not allowed in Entrance Keysanity. This is a no glitches logic, where minor glitches are allowed but never required.
And this is where I think we're also going to see the power of that particular exit for the Old Man Cave, because there are those two drop downs on the east side of Death Mountain, Spiral Cave, and the laser bridge sort of exit in the Light World that are normally just a pain in the butt to check in Entrance Rando, because it's so hard to get back to the top of the mountain once you jump down. But the Old Man exit will make that a whole lot easier to do now that they have the mirror.
Yeah, that is a very friendly early mirror and Old Man 7 quit point. They have great access this seed.
So here comes Namefaker's Fire Rod as well.
So it looks like Cheamo's going to go back and check the Hyrule Castle exits. Okay, so he gets to the pod area here. It wouldn't hurt to go out and check this bit of the overworld.
Yeah, and I think this is our first real Dark World connector that we found. We got let out on Death Mountain, but sort of in the main overworld, this is the first connection we found. So Cheamo's definitely chasing this down before the other Hyrule Castle exit.
Yeah, don't see it. Yeah, he has the cape now, so he can go to the top of the pyramid and mirror there and check all three of those entrances now.
Yeah, more great uses of the mirror and cross keys.
And that's something that can be forgotten by some players. We're already a little worried that these players have forgotten that they can be logically required to hookshot through Bumper Cave, but with the cape available, hopefully they won't have a problem with that now.
Namefaker is chasing down this Quarreling Brothers connector, which also lets out on Death Mountain.
Yeah, so we might see a bit of Dark Death Mountain, the Spike Cave entrance, and the Dark Flute 1 entrance from Namefaker here in a minute. So he doesn't have the mirror, so he's probably not going to do that right away. Right, so we see the other side of Bumper Cave here at Dark Flute 5, so not a great connector now that they have the flute. Right, so Namefaker comes here with the fire rod. He's just going to be able to clear this out right away. Clear Agathim's tower out, that is. And he has a key. He knows that the drop is useless, so he'll never have to come back here.
Yeah, and this is as far as we will need to go in Aga Tower, because we know the Lumberjack drop down is just the ferry, and they can get through the Aghanim vanilla entrance with the cape, so no real reason to beat Aga. It's another thing that's easy to forget, that sometimes you can be logically required to defeat Aghanim just to get rid of the barrier in front of that entrance. It's very rare, but possible.
Yeah. And it looks like Cheamo is leaving the pyramid area, so he has perhaps forgotten that he can mirror at the top of the pyramid and check those top Hyrule Castle entrances.
Guys, just quickly, there's something going on with the chatbot, and to fix it, I need to quickly reload the layout. Sounds like a weird combination, but that's actually how it works in this case, so don't panic.
Panic baskets in chat, people.
Also, I will fix the cropping any second. Give me just a moment.
Yeah, so I think Cheamo is just thinking about all of the Dark World things that he can check. As Ampharos mentioned in chat, he can hookshot across the river up here, and basically has access to all of Dark World from this point, but it would not have hurt to quickly mirror to the Light World and checked out a couple of those entrances. Worst case, you could just back right back out of them if it was something you didn't want to chase down right away. So that would be good knowledge to have, but I think he's just focused on checking out as much of Dark World as possible.
It looks like he's actually going to mirror here and go to Zora. I'm not sure I would want to do this. I think I would want to continue on my overworld route. Looks like we got the reset there. Another thing we could do is we could fake flipper to the Dark Ice Rod Cave area. That's a bit of an advanced move for a player who looks like he may have forgotten the pyramid. He may not even know that trick very well, much less be comfortable executing it. There's a high chance of death if you don't know how to deal with the bomber on the other side. So, looks like he'll end here at Zora. Yeah, so Chad is pointing out that Cheamo may have walked right past the Dark World Potion Shop entrance. And he is going to walk out of Zora area. This is a long, slow walk. Maybe you might want to have put this off until you were ready to save and quit here. Maybe flute to 8 and then fake flipper into this area.
Yeah, especially no way of knowing this beforehand, but with that ether on the ledge right there, you're gonna have to come back to it later. So yeah, I'll have to look up the that fake flipper back down to the Dark World from here, because I don't know how to do that one either. But that sounds like it would be handy. So we'll hope Cheamo hits the Dark World Potion Shop on the way out of this.
It'll be pretty hard to miss the big building, but if you're not used to doing entrance, it's an entrance that people can't skip on accident. No, he's walking by it, so he better hope that's nothing. Oh, maybe he was thinking about going back there, but he can hookshot over here. No, so now he cannot go back without a somewhat recently discovered bomb jump. Discovered by Kern, so it's called the Kern jump. So he has, unfortunately, possibly forgotten that entrance forever. We have a hint that the King's Tomb is nothing, so he won't be worried about mirroring here later. Excuse me.
Well, it was a connector, but yeah, probably not one that we're going to need, because we do have access to most of the world at this point. I'm not sure if there is any place left that it could be really required to go through there to get.
All right, one more reload, and then don't punch me. I try my best. I actually messed it up, but now everything is fine. Seats are properly working. Everybody can be happy now, and yeah, well, sorry. All good now.
Alright. So Cheamo finds Eastern Palace. People have mixed opinions on what to do with early Eastern Palace. Some people like to put it off entirely until they get both the big key and bow. Depends a little bit on where it is. This is an awkward position. And unless I missed it, Cheamo has walked past the very first chest in Eastern Palace. He has missed that entirely.
No, he did get that one. It was the compass to Thieves Town, I believe. It was just during the resync of the stream.
Oh, okay, so it skipped over that for me. Alright, so Namefaker here is trailing Cheamo by a couple minutes here. We will see shortly if the oversights Cheamo made, how badly those will hurt him. Alright, so we got a hint that the back of Skull Woods leads to Desert Palace. Because we have seen the front three entrances of Desert Palace, we know that has to be Lanmo's entrance, the Desert Final.
It's definitely good information, although we don't know at this point if we actually have to defeat Lanmo or not. We've not really seen any map checks, only a couple of maps that our runners have picked up. So we don't really have information about crystals and pendants yet.
Alright, so Namefaker's in a bit of trouble walking around the overworld with a half heart here. He will almost certainly grab this full heart that's on the pyramid just for contemporaneous survivability. He's thinking a little bit about what to do. He wants that. No, you want that. Go get it. He's going to remember to mirror here, though. He's actually going to have to watch out. He could actually die to the barrier if he runs out of magic for the cape while he's on it. Well, he's going to find a fairy, so it's not going to matter.
Definitely a convenient spot.
So we see Dark Sanctuary. This is another entrance people can forget. I didn't see the interior there. So we got this other hint here. This is the... Okay, so we have the mirror, so that hint's not going to matter.
Yeah, I also did not see what Dark Chapel was, but clearly not very interesting. Ooh, and Misery Mire is here on top of the Hyrule Castle as well.
Yeah, he can actually go in there. I'm not sure... We have 1 key, so he could actually... And he has a fire source, so he can actually get 6 out of the 8 chests in there. I think I would have done that in that position.
And we see our first sword of the seed, which we can't even get to yet. It's on top of the Dark World version of Bumper Ledge.
Yeah. And Namefaker also might have abandoned that because he is so low on magic, he would have to spend his potion to be able to kill the wizards in there. So maybe that's part of his decision. Namefaker's totally going to leave the catfish area and dark potion shop, so we will not see for the time being what Cheamo skipped there. And we're seeing some Cheamo, another frequently forgotten entrance. This is normally the Red Shield shop. But in this seed, it is the front of Paradox Cave. We got 7 items in here.
And 2 more exits to check, so this is a gold mine in entrance rando.
So Namefaker is also going to dip Ice Palace without the big key or bow.
So, I believe we have the big key for Eastern.
Oh, somebody has it. All right. They both have it. I didn't see the check. We've got a sword here in Paradox Cave. That's nice. Yikes. Okay. Cheamo has a half heart, so he's not going to be able to bomb jump out of here unless he has got something in his bottles I don't know about. He can drop and open the shop. He can actually purchase a heart there. That'll get him out of here. Just check this exit first. Yeah, so there's actually a shop off to the left here that you can bomb open. You can buy a heart. That'll get him the bomb jump. I think that's what I'd do in this situation. He's instead going to abandon his route and check this entrance.
Yeah, he can just head right back in there if he wants to. Because we know the drop down here was nothing interesting. We got there from someplace else, some other connector, I believe.
So we've seen this. We know this leads to West Death Mountain. I think Cheamo's actually seen this, so he should know. But maybe he just wants to get over there anyway. He can now mirror to the top and get the hair entrance.
And get those silvers while he's here if he wants to. Or
he's got
somewhere.
He's leaving, and he had to be careful there. I don't think he was paying attention to the fact that he died in one hit to anything, and had half a heart there. We've seen... Alright, so he's going... Oh, I thought the tracker said they had a key. I guess it's only Namefaker that found the Guinness Tower key, so... Cheamo's going to be able to do the tile room here, but nothing else. I guess he could steal a key from the left side before the hammerlocked section and go through to Ice Armos. Looks like he's only going to do the tile room for now, though. And he's going to use a glitch where if you activate the cape and grab and hold a wall, it does not consume magic.
This is pretty much its main use is for tile rooms, but it can come in handy in some other places as well.
Well, an entrance, its main use is the one of your ways to get through that Aghanim's barrier, which he did, and the way to get through Bumper Cave. Those are the most important uses of the cape, I would say.
Oh, yes,
actually...
I just meant this particular glitch.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's valuable key. That's the Swamp Small Key in the Gannon's Tower Tower Room.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those bug hunt type items that can just take you forever to find in Keysanity.
So we've got the Elder's House connector here at the Bumper Cave bottom. He's going to check where this goes. Alright, so this is the Turtle Rock Bridge. This is... You should mirror here and check these entrances. Yeah. And this is going to be the only way to get to check the Mimic Cave entrance.
I was going to say, how about that French Vanilla Spiral Cave entrance there, too?
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to check that. He has lost his portal. He set it too far to the side and collided out of bounds. So he's stuck here. He's got to do something else.
Oh, and it's just such a pain to get to that part of Dark World right now for our runners.
Yeah. But he's going to exit, probably shows this floating island item. And clear out a bit more of East Death Mountain, the top side.
And on the heels of the Swamp Palace Small Key on Cheamo's side, we now have the dam on Namefaker's side. Which, again, in entrance rando, this switch will be permanently pulled, basically, so whenever we find the Swamp Palace entrance, they'll be able to swim across there, assuming they have the flippers. And Cheamo is going to dive back into Gannon's Tower, finding that small key, so that now he can do the full right side.
Yep, so this is not in logic to go all the way to Ice Armos. I think to get to this, to get to the Compass Room chest, which he's about to do, you need 2 small keys, and to get to Ice Armos, you need 3. You actually may need 3 to get to this Compass Room, too, for that matter. I'm not sure. In any event, not in logic at the moment, but he's going to want to do it because it's so many items.
And it might have been the sword that urged him to come back here, just because he has a little bit more reliable weapon for the Ice Armos. Still not the bow that you would prefer to have, but at least a consistent weapon.
So he's got the fighter sword, which is actually the second, but tied for the second best sword for Ice Armos. I've seen a couple people in this tournament, or at least the... Okay, so actually he gets a sword downgrade for the purposes of Ice Armos. The Master Sword actually does less damage to either Armos than the fighter sword. And he's going to actually mirror out rather than continue to Ice Armos. Alright, so I didn't see if Namefaker actually went in the Dark Potion Shop, but he's at least in the Catfish area.
And it looks like Cheamo is very tempted by this Desert Palace Big Key. Again, we're not sure that's in logic. In fact, we're pretty sure it's not, but we will see what it gives.
Yeah, and Chad is pointing out there were a couple of mistakes made there. I think I would have continued to Ice Armos despite using an extra key compared to the most efficient way to do that. But he also didn't even grab the pot key after the Compass Room. You certainly want to do that no matter what you're doing, unless you already have a ton of Gannon's Tower small keys. So he's now really short a Gannon's Tower small key. Alright, so the Dark Potion Shop was a ferry, so Cheamo is not going to pay for skipping that entrance.
Yeah, so we found a connector to the Ice Palace Island, which doesn't do us any good without mitts. That is our pod entrance, as we saw the hint for a while back.
Yeah, it's not uncommon at all in entrance for mitts to be not required at all. But in this case, if pod is a crystal, it is absolutely required.
Yeah, or if just there's an important item hiding there in pod somewhere.
So we see the East Death Mountain Ferry exits at Desert Right. It's worth mentioning that there are a bunch of caves that must end in connectors, because otherwise you couldn't get to them. And the design decision has been made that all exits will be available. You can get to any place on the overworld. So Desert Palace Right must be a connector. The Laser Bridge exit must be a connector. The top of Bumper Cave must be a connector, and so on. Anywhere that you couldn't otherwise get to must be a connector.
And both of our runners taking a second to grab those silver arrows at about the same time. And Cheamo is going to find the back of this connector, which is how Namefaker exited out of Tower of Hera in the first place, is the back of Old Man's Cave.
Yeah, Chet said it a minute ago, but Cheamo, it looks like, is not able to identify caves right away, or maybe he just has never save and quit to the Old Man. But that's part of being an experienced player, knowing right away what a cave is once you walk into it. Yeah, so he just never exited the Old Man. So he's going to continue on the top of East Death Mountain. So I'm not sure if in his first pass Namefaker made it down to Paradox Cave.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he managed to check on Light World East Death Mountain.
Alright, so we saw Quake there for the Turtle Rock main entrance. Alright, so Cheamo has the mirror, maybe forgets to erase the blocks there. Yep, so Namefaker baits out that bird that you want to kill before trying to go for that rock. I think Namefaker came in here and he lost his portal on the... I think he was the one that did that. Yeah, so that's where he ended. That's how he ended his route here.
And there is Swamp at the Mimic entrance.
Yeah, so Cheamo found the Swamp small key, I believe, in the Ginnad's Tower tile room, and we know that the flippers are also somewhere in Ginnad's Tower, so it's Ginnad's Tower to get to Swamp, get deeper in Swamp.
So Namefaker is also tempted by this Spiral Cave item that he knew was here, but again lost the mirror portal before.
Yeah, Namefaker is again breaking off his route to check Spiral Cave. I believe we saw the exit, and it's not very interesting.
Yeah, I just think it would have made more sense to go check out Village of Outcasts and then come back to the Bumper Cave.
Yeah, it's kind of a long walk. I don't mind it too much, just because you gotta do that sometime. Alright, so he is going into Ganon's tower. He will at least do tire room and the compass room. We'll see if he goes further on the right side. So Namefaker is going to actually have this bunny beam sitting on him. He'll have to deal with that as he comes out of the cape. So we're seeing things from each runner that the other has already done. I believe Namefaker was in here and did not continue backwards through the dark maze to the crystal roller chest, which I think is the right thing to do here. So we'll see if Cheamo does that.
He seems to be opting out as well. Oh, nope, he's going to dive right back in, so we'll see what that one extra gives us.
He'll get this item, and we'll see if this was an expensive mistake for Namefaker not to do this. He can actually go backwards further. He can get all the way to the Chain Chomp chest. He does not have a key to actually go south from the Chain Chomp chest to the front of Turtle Rock. But he can get to that chest, and it is in logic. Alright, so Namefaker is at least going to get this pot key. Looks like he's going to mirror. Okay, so he will not continue.
Ice Armos Mystery is still floating.
So the crystal roller chest was nothing, not an expensive mistake for Namefaker, and Cheamo is indeed going to go backwards. We'll see where he stops here. He has a powder, so he can get a heal here from these 4 anti-fairies. So Namefaker didn't have the Desert Small Key his first trip through, so he's now going to cash in both his keys, the big and small desert keys. Okay, we had a little bit of a fast forward there for the restream. I don't know what you guys are seeing.
And Cheamo opted to use that key from the Pokey to open the lava chest. Again, I might have been tempted to go all the way through to the front of Turtle Rock. Again, would not have been in logic, but still gets those checks out of the way right away.
Yeah, and I would not have been tempted whatsoever. I think it is always the correct play to get that key there and use it right away on that chest, because you're there and you're probably going to have enough Turtle Rock keys anyway, and you're probably going to have good enough access to the other exits otherwise. So I think that's just the most efficient play there. And he's going back into Turtle Rock. So he's going to take a long way, probably to the laser eye wall exit.
Yeah, that is not an entrance we found, so we can use that as a connector still.
Yeah, we have found the Turtle Rock Big Chest entrance, and I think it was accessible, so I think this is a bit of a inefficient play to go all the way through this just to get there. Alright, so Namefaker on his first circuit of the Dark World skipped the catfish area entirely. I don't think he... Or did he?
I think he made it back there on the second trip.
He made it back,
The third time he's made this walk in the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. So not great access to the West Dark World. So long circle. I think he has not been in Paradox Cave yet. Yeah, he's going down. So he has a sword from somewhere, and one of them was in Paradox Cave. So maybe he has been here, and he's just checking another exit. No, he has not been in here. Yeah, because Cheamo is on Master Sword from somewhere accessible.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Cheamo found the link to hammer pegs. Was the laser eye entrance into Turtle Rock, and missed the opportunity to use the mirror to get around that hammer peg to the magic bat drop down, and the magic bat drop down would take you to the back of Escape.
Yeah, that was a big problem in one of the qualifiers for a bunch of racers. People did not realize you could do that, or at least forgot about it, and ended up taking a very long time to get an item out of there that blocked a good portion of the end of the seed.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Namefaker's first sword was in Compass Room of GT, and he just found the second one here in Paradox. He does have the health to do the bomb jump, so we'll get to see the upper Paradox exit and see where that takes. All right. And yeah, here's the mirror to this entrance as well, which is another difficult one to get to. And that's our big bomb stop.
And you want to talk to that guy, because he will tell you what dungeons are the 5-6 crystals. That's valuable information, so that's a little bit of a mistake there, not getting that information from the NPC.
But it looks like Namefaker is finally going to make it into Village of Outcasts, only an hour and 5 minutes into the seed.
And it looks like he may be skipping the Skullwoods area for the time being. We know that the Desert Palace boss is up there at Skullwoods Final. Alright, so we see Skull is one of our 5-6 crystals, and Swamp is also a crystal. Yeah, we have seen Front of Escape out of both players, and at Dark Flute 1 we see the Spike Cave. And Namefaker accidentally fell into one of the drops in Skullwoods. That can be a costly mistake, because Skullwoods, the front entrances are only shuffled amongst themselves, but they can be arranged in such a way that you cannot exit the area. You must either mirror and continue from the light world, or save and quit. But he got lucky in that the drop he took him to the connector, so he'll be able to get out of here to the front one way or another.
Yeah, and I think Namefaker was not thinking about that possibility when he opted to come back here, because again, we know this entrance is useful. It's the back of Desert, but it's not going to lead anywhere interesting, as opposed to all of the possible entrances we have in the Village of Outcasts.
Oh, he did not opt to come back here. That was that was absolutely a mistake to fall into that drop. He was trying to get by it, and he fell in. So Cheamo is now doing this circuit that we've seen from both players a number of times now. Hookshotting across to get to West Dark World. I think the last time Cheamo was here, he had to break it off at the bottom Paradox Cave because he didn't have the heart to do the bomb jump. And once you're back here and you don't know your pendants and crystals, you don't have full information, I think you just have to kill Lenmo here. I don't think there was any sense in skipping this for the time being and try to walk all the way back here later.
pretty nice landmo fight on low magic with the tempered sword spins, and is rewarded with our first crystal of the sea.
So 108 first crystal, that's actually not too bad in an entrance seed. So we're seeing the Village of Outcasts from Cheamo. I don't think we have seen this at all yet. Namefaker is taking another drop here. It's the big chest drop. He actually he has not yet gotten the free pot key out of the connector for Skullwoods, so he can't go to the left side from here just yet. So I'm not sure. Well, there's a vanilla key, so now I can. But we get the hint that Swamp is at Mimic Cave. I'm not sure which player has seen that, but I think only one player has seen that. So it'll be valuable for the other player.
Yeah, I know Namefaker has seen it, and now Cheamo just got that information as well.
So one of the things I like to do here in Skullwoods is continue and get the... Yeah, it looks like Namefaker's going to go back and do it. I like to get this key in the pinball room and then get wall mastered. So I have a key to get to Mothula as soon as I'm in the area. So he's just going to mirror. So now he's got a Skullwoods key to beat the boss.
Yes, and we have seen that entrance also, so he can do that whenever he needs to, probably during the Cross Keys boss rush in the last few minutes of the...
Yeah, and we saw on Cheamo's side when he did a map check that Ice Palace is also crystal. So we do not have the soft lock arrangement of Skullwoods. You can walk out of here.
So we saw Cheamo find a couple of items in these entrances in Village of Outcasts. I think we found the Graveyard Ledge and the Sick Kid, but neither of them had anything particularly interesting.
So Cheamo actually stuns the mummies with the boomerang. That is free to do in entrance when you can quick swap over to the boomerang. So I didn't notice that, but we got the big key of Ice Palace out of Skullwoods. That is very nice to be able to have that before you go into Ice Palace and not have to orphan that chest.
Yeah, and with the small keys as well, Ice Palace will be able to be routed pretty easily by these runners once they have the hammer and can find that entrance.
Yeah, so Cheamo also going straight for Landmo. No reason not to, in my opinion. Not a good play to try to skip it.
I'm trying to think. I'm not sure where that back of Skullwood entrance was, but I'm thinking as early as we found it that it's somewhere in Kakariko, so our runners could even mirror to that right now if they wanted to.
Yeah, I also don't remember, but I don't think it was quite that accessible. I want to say on Death Mountain somewhere.
Yeah, maybe it was a little bit later than I was thinking it was.
Alright, so Namefaker is in the area of the dinghy game. You can be required to mirror for the race game item and this entrance here that exits to it. Yeah, so he's going to remember to do that. This is something that some inexperienced or otherwise new players don't remember to do. Not sure we've actually seen the race game and item. Gonna find out here in a minute.
We saw it. I forget. Oh, yeah, the mushroom. That's right. We have found the potion shop as well, so this is a fetch quest they can run down if they really want to.
Right, so according to some people, we are officially tied in this race because they both have the same number of crystals. I'm going to have to step away for a minute or two here.
So we are going to see Cheamo backtracking out of Skull Woods. Again, following very similar paths to each other, these runners, as the new areas of the world open up to us. Namefaker finding the sewer key, so now the back of escape is definitely in logic, although they would much prefer to take that Hammerpeg's mirror path back there rather than run all the way through the sewers again. But most importantly, we got South Dark World stuff to check. Easy item on Stumpy. We have seen the Cave 45 entrance. I forget where it came from, and there is Quake, which opens up the Vanilla Turtle Rock entrance today. So Cheamo is also following through to get this extra Skull Woods key from the lower right drop down. The pinball room, as it's called in the spoiler log. A very helpful hint there telling us where to find some cash. Yes, the building with the back door is the tavern in Kakariko. So the front entrance of the tavern leads you to a cave with some cash, which we certainly saw quite a while ago. And the Hype Cave area was very good to us today. We'll see what the Hype Cave entrance leads us to. The brewery, which contains just 50. Our runners definitely have some connectors and sort of one-off entrance locations floating, stuff like that Turtle Rock main entrance, some other random things like that they can possibly check out. We see a bee in a bottle at the Sunken Treasure location. Namefaker is opting out of with 2 bottles already. That seems like enough.
So I think the only thing I missed of consequence was Quake at Stumpy.
Yeah, that was about all. Just the other South Dark World entrance is not really leading to much, unfortunately. But it looks like Namefaker is going to take the Old Man exit back out to Turtle Rock, now with that Quake medallion, or not.
Well, it's going to need Hammer and Mitts to be able to open that entrance.
Oh yeah, details.
Yeah, so there it is, here on East Death Mountain, Skullwood's final. So he's got that Keen Fire Rod and a bunch of swords now, so he can beat this. As soon as he gets by this Wallmaster. So we've got a tournament admin doing his best Twitch chat impersonation, rooting for Hammer in the back of Escape, which would be a very inconvenient location for it.
Although it would be more convenient if Cheamo had remembered to mirror while he was in the Hammerpegs area. I don't think Namefaker made it to that area yet. He took the other exit out of Paradox Cave.
Yeah, so we actually got the Hyrule Castle small key out of the digging game, so we're not going to be required to mirror there for the back of Escape. So apologies to our troll tournament admins.
Cheamo is going to check out the K45 entrance because that's a connector he did not chase down earlier, which Namefaker did.
Yeah, I believe he has to have seen the other side of this, so he doesn't want to go through it. Right, so it looks like Namefaker is now remembering to go backwards through Turtle Rock here for the Crystal Roller Room. We'll see how far he takes this. Not sure he's seen the laser eye wall exit.
Oh, yes, and that was what led out at Hammer Pegs. My mistake, not Paradox Cave. So, hopefully he will follow that one, and we'll get to see Back of Escape.
Yeah, he does that escape. He does have that escape small key, though, so not required to get to Back of Escape. He can just walk through the castle. So we are running a bit short on things to do here. I would think Meyer at the top of the castle is likely to have something. Going to Ice Armos is not in logic yet without at least one more Guinness Tower small key. So that's probably not the answer at the moment. Not sure we've skipped much, so...
Yeah, there is the mushroom floating. AA asking in chat, I believe we have seen the potion shop fairly early on.
Yeah, we have
Bowser
seen that.
Junior Sprite.
I actually think that's in Kakariko. But it's looking to me like Meyer at the top of the castle is the play. So, I think actually this was a vanilla small key, so he could actually go to the front of Turtle Rock here, I think. If I was right about that? No. That was a different vanilla small key. Skullwood's big chest, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, so we will just take that Death Warp out. So I guess we're not going to see the eye exit from him, or maybe we are at this point, since he's going back in.
Yeah, maybe I misremembered that. I thought the Turtle Rock big chest was relatively accessible. So I thought it would be more sensible to get to it from there, but he's going back through it here, so maybe I actually misremember how accessible that is.
Yeah, Cheamo did the same thing. But that big chest was another one that we found relatively early, but that might have been still somewhere a little bit annoying to get to.
Yeah, so Cheamo also now going for Mothula. Cheamo, unfortunately, when he had his problems in Paradox Cave, he could not do the bomb jump. He has still not taken that other exit from Paradox Cave, which exit to Bumper Ledge, which has a sword, so for the time being, he's going to be down a sword for a little while.
Alright, we are going to get the mirror now from Namefaker.
Yeah, not far enough right, but he'll get there. Ooh, that was close to getting wall mastered for Cheamo there.
And chat's been calling for Back of Escape for a while, so we'll see what's actually back here. Not much. Turtle Rock Small Key is always nice, but you don't need as many of those when you're mostly accessing it from the back and then working your way up to the front.
Yeah, it is possible to use only one Turtle Rock small key, or at least from the pool of items, to get to Trinex and get the other key from the pokey to get the lava chest, and otherwise use no small keys. So Namefaker is going to turn in this mushroom and confirm that Potion Shop was, I think, in Kakariko. Yeah, we have not seen the front of Turtle Rock, and it can be required to go backwards through Turtle Rock. Yeah, there we go. This is the bomb shop. It can be required to go backwards past the chain shops to the front of Turtle Rock because that front entrance can be otherwise inaccessible. You can exit somewhere like the laser bridge or even Genna's tower.
So there's a couple of loose ends tied up. We're pointing more and more toward Meyer as the play at this point, because there are not a whole lot of other options.
Yeah, we know Pod is locked behind Mitts, that would otherwise be somewhat appealing. We have not seen Ice Palace, I don't think.
That's correct.
We don't have the big key for Hera to go upstairs. Hera is somewhere fairly accessible. Can't get into Swamp without the flippers. We've beaten Skull. We haven't found Thieves Town.
We've done as much of Eastern as possible without the bow.
Yeah, so a couple dungeons we haven't found, and then Meyer. Not sure if we've skipped any entrances, really. We could actually fake flipper to the Southeast Dark World. Neither player's done that, and if you're not experienced with it, it's very dangerous and difficult. So Cheamo opted out of trying to do anything here in Aghanim's Tower when he was first here because he didn't have a great weapon. He will get his 2 useless items out of here now. And we haven't seen the Meyer area at all, so getting Mitts at this point would open quite a bit for us. We could fake Flipper and get to Pod, and we could get to the Meyer area and mirror and clear out the desert area. Meanwhile, though, Namefaker is going for what looks like the play. It looks like he's going for Meyer.
Yeah, and question in chat about the flippers. We know they are in Ganon's tower somewhere, but Ice Armos is not in logic yet with the keys that we have, and not a whole lot else of Ganon's tower we can do yet without the hammer. So.
Yeah, so here we go. Here we go with the Meyer play for Namefaker. Meanwhile, Cheamo might be... He might not have much left to do until he remembers that he can mirror at the top of the pyramid. He can turn in the mushroom. He has not taken the other exit of Paradox Cave for his sword and the bomb shop. Otherwise, though, he's looking real low on checks. He also has not done the back of escape. He can go through the front of Hyrule Castle to do it. He's got the key for it from the digging game. That looks like what he's doing. Yeah, so this left side of Meyer here is locked behind 3 small keys. We do not have 3 small keys, so this is unlikely to be the answer, but no reason not to clear it when you can when you're here.
Yeah, and let's hope that Cheamo then follows this up by heading out the front entrance of Hyrule Castle, which has been our main Dark World access to this point, and then remembers to mirror on top of the pyramid.
So we actually have, I believe, 1 Meyer small key, which puts the otherwise peg-locked chest on the right side in logic. I didn't see what entrances it referred to, but it's useless.
Yeah, the bombable hut in Kakariko.
So given that Cheamo is low on checks he knows he can do, he may be tempted to take that Turtle Rock key and go backwards through Turtle Rock past the chain jumps to the front of Turtle Rock.
And there's the big key to Turtle Rock, which gives us one more item at that big chest.
Cheamo, unfortunately, looking a little bit uncertain about what he wants to do here.
All right, this could be good if he follows this to the top of pyramid and remembers to mirror there. Oh, and there are the mitts.
So
So that opens up Palace of Darkness for us.
Well, not logically. We're going to need the flippers for that. But it does unlock the mire area, which seems likely at this point. The mire area and all the desert entrances that we can mirror to.
Well, we can get to that island. We found a connector that led out of the capacity ferry entrance, so we can get to the island without the flip.
All right, how many pod smalls do we have?
I think just one, actually. Two,
Trackers,
looks like.
Yeah, Tracker's saying they have two. 2 is a little awkward. 3 is much nicer. But we're going to see the mire area first.
Yeah, 2 keys and no bow just opens up, like 3 chests, maybe?
Yeah, well, one would think we would see the potion glitch out of these players just because you want to be efficient when you're in there.
Yeah, Mire area, of course, you're right, is much more lucrative with all these entrances we can get over here. Nothing much in them yet, but we've also got the back of desert and checkerboard cave to look at, and then a couple more Dark World entrances. Ooh, and here's Thieves Town.
Do not think we have the big key for this yet, but we'll get the first 4 chests. And we've got that 3rd pod key. That'll make doing the back a little more convenient. You will only have to orphan the big chest if you use your keys correctly. At least that's the only chest in the back you will have to orphan.
And there's another fetch quest for us with the Hera basement key.
That is perhaps the least pleasant key in Entrance Keysanity. You never want to have to go back just for Hera basement for anything. Often going to be the last play you make in Logic.
Oh.
Yep, so that's Thieves Town Hammer, its traditional location.
As Namefaker leaves a bomb there on his way out of the dungeon.
Now, off the top of my head, that doesn't open... Well, okay, that opens the left side again, this tower, so that opens quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, we've also seen a Spike Cave, but couldn't get through it without the hammer. But obviously that's not going to be very high on the list either. Bombo's required to get into Misery Mire entrance today.
And they both have the Ice Palace big key, so they can full clear Ice Palace when they find it, and at least Cheamo knows that that's a crystal. So we're going to see the right mire shed. People can forget this entrance exists. People can forget several of these mire entrances exist. There's this right mire shed and then dark agata.
Combo randomizer players never forget about this entrance, though.
I don't play combo randomizer, so it doesn't exist to me.
So if I called that lower north area, you wouldn't.
No idea what you're talking about. No idea.
The Ice Rod Cave is at Checkerboard. The Checkerboard entrance, rather. Just a heart piece, though.
Yeah, so Cheamo not actually that far behind getting his mitts. He's down that sword, though. That's gonna hurt quite a bit. The further longer he goes without it. Otherwise, that hammer looks to be the only interesting thing we got out of the mire area, other than finding Thieves Town.
Well, yes, that's right. I was going to say the mitts, but no, we found that in Misery Mine.
Mitts got us there, so
yeah.
I think we're doing. What are we doing here? Are we doing Spike
this is
Cave?
back into GT.
Oh, that's in Kakariko. Okay. Yeah. So the key that Cheamo forgot to get out of the pot after the compass room in Ganon's Tower may come into play here. And Cheamo may be headed for that connector you were talking about. I don't think this is it, though.
There's another pod small key, and there are the flippers. So that's definitely making it seem like pod is the play, although we would prefer to have the big key before we go there if we could.
Yeah, so now pod is in logic for those who forgot about the connector that leads there. That also gets us swamp. We can do... Do we have the big key? No, we can almost full clear swamp. And we have seen that. I forget where it is, but we've seen it.
Yes, and we have the dam as well, so that is open to our runners.
Yeah, so I think... No, he had a small key coming in here, so he's okay. But it can be a mistake to get that double firebar room, the map chest in Ganon's Tower, if you have 0 keys when you first go to the left. And Cheamo's going to face that problem if he forgets to ever go back to that pot key in Ganon's Tower. So, Namefaker found yet another pod small key. 4 is a very comfortable number for your first dip. Unless you... Okay, well, now he does have the bow. So he can actually full clear it with some long, expensive trips through the right side.
Yeah, now we will definitely see Ice Armos.
Actually, it's going to require a big key for him to full clear pod, so we don't have that yet.
Because we also have the silver arrows, so we will make quick work of Ice Armos at this point, so...
And we have a hint that the Ganon Star Big Chest is useless. I think 3 bombs, so he's not going to worry about orphaning that without the Ganon Star Big Key here.
And a very nice bomb jump across there without the boots, the normal preferred method across that gap. So yeah, to no one's surprise, Ganon's Tower in Entrance Randomizer is a very valuable place to go.
So yet another sword. That's gold versus Master Sword for Namefaker. And the natural play for him, I believe, is Pod here.
Yeah, although
He's
I think
got the
that's,
bow.
I was gonna say I think that's good news for Cheamo, because that means his third sword will be along a very logical path for him to follow, and that jump from Master to Tempered is very important to make.
So Namefaker might be following one of the other options he has. He can do the Smith chain here with the purple chest, or he's got Eastern Palace, which is the graveyard ledge, I believe, which he can now beat with the bow. Or he's changing his mind. Oh, he wants to know whether it's a crystal. It is a crystal, so he'll go for it. We also see that Hera is a pendant.
Yeah, Namefaker clearly following the ABCD rule, always be clearing dungeons.
And Cheamo is going to finish his Mire area clear here in a minute. And he will have a bit of an awkward decision, having forgotten to grab that pot key in Ganon's tower. So it looks like he's heading straight for Ganon's tower. And
Yeah,
if he
so-
wants to get to Ice Armos from the left side, he's going to need to remember to skip the map chest, the double firebar room.
Yeah, that's definitely the percentage play, since there's only one check in there.
And so for folks who might be joining us late, Ganon's tower is vanilla, so we're going to have to go up Ganon's tower at some point. So that that small key he didn't get is going to hurt him even more later in the seed.
I gotta say, I really hope that's that's the Ganon Tower big key on the torch right there, just for troll value.
Your guess was 3.
Yeah.
So we're only going to get one item out of Eastern. We're going to get a crystal, though, so we're not too sad about that. All right, so here it comes. Cheamo must skip this door. He cannot open this door. Bad idea. He was thinking about it. I think he knew it was a possible problem, but now he's made that mistake. He's going to miss out on that sword.
Second time in the seed, he's gonna miss out on a sword.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, but was it another pod key back here? I don't remember. Was it more than just a sword?
Yeah, I don't remember anything else that behind Ice Armos.
No, so that hurts. He's gonna... In fact, he's not even gonna be able to go to the rando room here. So, and that definitely... Yeah, one of those places was a pod key, so...
Yeah, I think Bo and a pod key in the rando room.
I wonder if he's gonna remember to... I mean, he could go back for that key. He could go down just for that pot, then go to rando room. So... competitively, he's in quite a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, and with that decision, it does make sense that he's going to want to chase down these flipper checks, maybe head toward Ice Palace or Swamp. But unfortunately, this definitely puts him in a rough spot, because he's going to need another GT small key before he can really get any.
And we saw from a map check here that Thieves Town is also a crystal. Mimic Cave. So, Namefaker, this is Swamp Palace, I believe. Yeah, so here we go. He's going to do Swamp Palace. He does not have the big key, so he will have to orphan that. That is unfortunate. I think I would have preferred Pod entirely for that reason. But I guess it's not... Swamp Big Chest is not the worst thing to go back to. Yeah, Incoherent in chat is saying the GT small keys do have to show up. We do have to beat Aghanim to this seed, so all 4 are logically required. And for that matter, the bow is locked behind 4 Ganon's Tower small keys, so... Ooh, I'm not sure Cheamo was far enough left when he did that. No, he did get it. So you got the potion glitch here. He will be able to do everything that Namefaker would be able to do with the potion glitch, not having the pod big key. So this not getting the bow isn't going to hurt him yet. If the pod big key is in here, it will hurt him.
Seed heard we like to fetch quests, so there's a shovel. Yeah, he's really gonna want to find some GT small keys very soon to be able to make up that time that he's losing by not having the bow.
Yeah. So question here in chat. For the potion glitch to work, you must be on the. So there's the Ganon's Tower Big Key in Swamp. For the potion glitch to work, you must be in the left half of the room. Cheamo was very close to not quite being in the left half. You must also be far enough right so that the camera is still moving when you use the potion. And then you must not move right at all once you use the potion. Those, I believe, are the 3 constraints. There is also a constraint where you cannot use the potion at the wrong time during the bomb explosion. So some people have got tripped up using the bomb, setting the bomb to blow up the wall, then use the potion, and that can actually cancel the potion glitch. So you should wait for the bomb to explode before you try the potion glitch.
So with Namefaker finding that T-Big Key, and we know we're going to have to do Aga 2 today, how soon do you do that to get those extra chests up Ganon's Tower?
Well, you're not going upstairs without 1 small key, and he has used all his small keys getting to Ice Armos, so he's got to find another Ganon's Tower small before he wants to go upstairs. Unfortunately, there could be a key or even 2 upstairs. I think they could actually both be in the mini Helmosaur room, or you could have 1 in the mini Helmosaur room and then 1 in the chest before Moldworm 2. So technically, he could be required to go up there now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess logically there's no constraint on having to climb Ganon's Tower to get to do the basement if you have the big key, right?
Yeah.
Other than the bow in this case.
Yeah. The bow is behind all 4 small keys, so that means Ganon's Tower upstairs is behind all 4 small keys, so the situation I was describing is not possible in this particular seed. So there cannot be any Ganon's Tower small keys upstairs.
Meanwhile, Cheamo showing us the Hammer Yump, a very important skill for Keysanity runners in general.
It is. All the glitches that skip an item permanently are extremely valuable. And there we see one of the Ganon's Tower small keys in the Dark Maze of Pod.
And the Ice Rod as well.
So we do not know whether... Actually, do we? No, it is down to Pod versus Turtle Rock for our last Crystal versus Pendant. We do not know which is which. So Cheamo has a bit of a decision here. He would have to do the potion glitch multiple times to... He's going to leave. I'm not sure about this. I guess getting that Ganon's Tower small key, he's going to want to go back and continue to the random room and basement of Ganon's Tower. Yeah, that's what he's...
looks that way.
So he'll get the bow, and he'll be able to circle through Pod again a couple times. We've got Bombos here in Swamp. That is the medallion for the Mire entrance. That could actually be locking Ice Palace. We have not seen Ice Palace yet.
Yeah, that Turtle Rock main entrance actually is in Logic now, and accessible with the Mitts and Hammer and Quake. Yeah, I'm thinking about that big key on the torch as well. Definitely some options for what that one could be. It could be Swamp Palace, big key, in which case it's probably not needed. Could be the Mire big key, also not necessarily needed. But if it's Tower of Hera. But if it's one of the others, we'll need to find the boots to get that one before we can finish.
So Namefaker is maybe going for the just got the book, so he may want to do the Smith chain here and do the purple chest into Bombos. Could also check the pedestal here. So Cheamo will at least now get his tempered sword upgrade after Ice Armos. Where is it? No, you can't go backwards. Oh, I guess he doesn't know the bomb jump to. Yeah, and if you don't know this maze, it can be difficult to try blind. He should go up here and light the torch with the fire rod.
Yeah,
Or
it's funny
bomb
how
jump, it
often
looks like.
rando runners are really bad at thinking about intended strats.
Yeah. So, don't know how many of you have ever seen this in rando, but you can light that torch and show this pathway. He may actually want to go back and light the torch again if he doesn't know this. He may have it here. He's on the right path. No, don't do it. Yeah. Okay. No.
Ooh,
He
so
almost had
close.
it. So it looks like
Namefaker,
he's.
meanwhile, checking out an entrance that is hammer locked. Just 10 arrows in the checkerboard cave location, though.
Yeah, so one would think he'll do purple just into Bombos here.
Cheamo is down to 1 heart. This is a little bit rough at this point. Taking a death here would be really painful.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Wow.
Not sure what he has in his bottles. Don't know if he's got a potion. Yeah, so he's gonna have to walk all the way back. Namefaker does not go into the Dark World to do Bombos with the in tandem with the purple chest. I'm not sure where he's going now. I don't remember what was here that he could be going back for. Oh, the Mire entrance. Fair enough. We got Bombos and Swamp in the waterfall chest. So we are still on the hunt for Ice Palace, which one of our runners knows is a crystal. I do not remember which runner. I actually think it's not Namefaker. I think it's Cheamo that knows it's a crystal. Alright. One of our helpers is saying they both know it's a crystal. We have several boots locked location. That's seeming likely. It's seeming like we're going to need boots to get to Ice Palace. Namefaker's probably going for the Bombos tablet here, and I wonder if he forgets where Pod is. Because that just seems like a very obvious play at this point.
Yeah, especially once you get the flippers, you start thinking about what locations are flipper locked, and I don't think we've even seen Hobo either.
Yeah, so he's going for the southeast Dark World here. We've got 3 entrances in the sort of dark Ice Rod Cave area. So it looks like he'll do those first. Cheamo has now successfully navigated the dark platforms and is getting to Ice Armos. So this will be Tempered Sword and maybe a key, I forget. I think not, I think just a sword. And there we go, there's Ice Palace. Well, we can full clear Ice Palace, but we don't need to. We got a hint for the big chest, it's nothing. Cheamo uses his tracker a little differently than most people do, so I can't quite tell what his markings mean. I'm not sure he has swamp marked. I think he has to have seen it. Alright, so no new information about crystals there. Yeah, so for my money, when you're here in Pod and you can't full clear it, I would always open that middle door just for efficiency's sake. It looks like Cheamo wants to save the key though. I think that second hint there on ice was useless.
Yeah, I didn't see what that one was, unfortunately. Namefaker going to show off the bomb jump for us.
So, other than we got a Ganon's Tower small key and I think the ice rod here in Pod.
Yes, that's correct.
So, nothing of great consequence. That small key should send Namefaker upstairs right away, though. He got the big key for Ganon's Tower somewhere. I think in Swamp. I think that was the compass chest. So he knows Ganon's vanilla. He knows he has to go upstairs. No reason not to once you have the things to do it.
Right, question in chat. Name is not quite in go mode. We're still missing that Thieves Town big key for sure. The Pod big key maybe, depending on if it's a crystal or not. And the Hera big key not necessary, although that does unlock a couple items upstairs.
Yeah, he also he needs a Ganon's Tower small key. Well, that was a fast forward. I'm not sure if I missed anything there. But Namefaker needs a Ganon's Tower small key. He cannot go up. He cannot complete Ganon's Tower. He will get that in Pod, but he needs that for go mode as well. And
wow. Pod big key is upstairs in Ganon's Tower.
Okay, I thought that said small key, and that would have been logically impossible. But big key works. We do not know if we need that, because we do not know whether the Turtle Rock or Pod is the last crystal. Looks like Cheamo is also heading for Southeast Dark World and will join Namefaker and Ice shortly. He's getting the Highland Island item. I think we saw that was nothing. Ooh, streams are going back and forth. I missed that chest there in Ice.
Namefaker showing up another Ice Palace bomb jump. That's pretty free if you just wedge yourself in the doorway and press up and face to the right, and then just drop the bomb. That will propel you across that gap there.
Yeah, we got a hint in the front of Ice that the big chest was nothing, so despite having the big key, Namefaker is skipping that. Actually not sure if Namefaker checked all 3 entrances in this area before going into Ice. Oh, and Cheamo will not check the other entrances before going to full clear Ice either. So unfortunately, it looks like the crystal that we don't know is one of the red crystals. And Namefaker neglected to talk to the bomb shop owner. So if he had done that, he would know what all his crystals are.
And meanwhile, what are those? Cold Stare dropping the boots for us. That opens up several locations. That big key on the Ganon's Tower torch. So, and of course, gotta go fast. So, always happy to find.
Yeah, that opens up 4 entrances as well. We know that the King's Tomb is nothing, so 3 useful entrances. Yeah, we for those in chat, we have been having some on and off issues. The stream is indeed live. We may have missed some things here and there, but we are live. Just refresh if necessary. And of course, if you can't tell it's live, you can't hear me, so I'm talking to nobody. I'm smart. Listen, we all make mistakes.
I just like to pretend I didn't make any mistakes and move on. It helps if you just forget everything you say as soon as you say it, so then, you never have to worry about dumb things that you said in the past.
So we found the front of Turtle Rock there. We got a hint for something we already knew and a bunch of useless items. I think Namefaker is going to want to go to Pod now.
Yeah, that big key is pretty tempting.
He's going to
check out a couple entrances.
I think we have seen... We have at least not seen both Pyramid Fairies, or double-chested fairies. All right, and that key makes Pod even more appealing. Makes 5 versus 4 is very convenient. So he will open the front door without question. Yeah, it looks like he's headed straight to Pod now. I think it was actually quicker to take that flute, but close enough.
Yeah, and this will be important. It looks like he's going to check out Hobo first. This will be important information either way, because if he defeats Helmasaur, then we will get to see where the last crystal is. And if that is in Turtle Rock, then Namefaker should have the Ice Rod to get to finish it off. since that's in the dark maze of pod.
And with flippers, that actually opens up another entrance that we haven't seen. I don't think either player has been in the Waterfall Fairy entrance. We abandoned Ether on the Azor Ledge, but we now know we do not need that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if there are any particular entrances that we are worried about at this point.
I think Namefaker was actually headed to Ganon's tower there, but the snitch caught him, and that actually locks the door, so he can't get in there. Yeah. So he's going to grab this big key off the torch. I think that's what he's going for.
Right. Chat keeping me on my toes. We don't have the pod big key yet, because that's somewhere up Ganon's tower. So I would suspect we'll see him climb right now to make sure he's got the big key that he needs. The Misery Mire big key, not especially helpful. Ooh, he will not climb. Maybe Cheamo is the one who saw that hint. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, he is not going to climb without another Ganon's Tower small key. He wants
again,
to
that small
complete it.
key.
Yeah, he wants to complete it when he goes up there. So, yeah, pod is the play here.
Absolutely. Yes, because he will find that other Ganon's Tower small key in pod as well.
Yeah, so Mire is not especially appealing. That big key opens 3 1/3 items. That opens Big Chest, Vitreous, Sahasrara, and 1/3 of what he needs for the pedestal. We only recently got that hair big key, so there are now 3 items upstairs hair that we can get.
Well, Cheamo's Cold Stir Fight is going to be slightly slower with just the Tempered Sword instead of butter, but still should go fair.
Alright, so Namefaker just got the Thieves Small Key, and if the tracker is correct, Cheamo actually forgot to go get that chest, so he's missing out on the Thieves Small Key. Unless our tracker also missed out on it.
Yeah, I don't remember if we were having any stream issues at the point when Cheamo was in Palace of Darkness. And of course, in Cross Keys with Quick Swap turned on, the runners will very rarely actually go to the pause menu to double check things, which just makes things harder on our trackers, unfortunately. Yes. Okay, so as I say that, Cheamo did pause and does not have the Thieves Town small.
So that is... Yeah, so Cheamo's collecting a bunch of mistakes here that could really come back to bite him. Yeah, so we actually saw that shovel earlier. I forgot about that. There's another check that Cheamo could do.
So our trackers are right on things. Shout out to Elbot and Dark Rid, who are doing a great job tracking this extremely confusing game mode for us.
So I don't think we're going to see anything new here. Namefaker will get the Ice Rod and Ganon's Tower small key, and he should go straight upstairs Ganon's Tower with that small key. A couple Turtle Rock keys to put everything in logic. What does Cheamo have to do? He has missed something. He needs to go to Swamp, it looks like. Ooh, he opts out of that hint. Oh, he knew what that was. So Cheamo wants to go to... He needs to go to Swamp for the Ganon's Tower big key. We still haven't had any tablet checks, I don't think. There's another pod small. So they both check the bonk rocks behind Link's house. There's a Dark World equivalent, and I would have gone to the Dark World to check those both in tandem. Just check one, then mirror to check the other. Hopefully they haven't forgotten. I think Cheamo's now going to do the Smith Chain and/or Ice Palace. I'm sorry, Eastern Palace.
And so with the Ice Rod now, Namefaker has the option of just going to defeat Trinex as a way of checking whether that is a crystal or a pendant, because we might not have to grab that Palace of Darkness big key if we don't actually have to defeat Helmus.
Yeah, that is not quite appealing yet. Once he gets... there's the Ganon Tower key. Not appealing over something he knows he has to do, namely climbing Ganon's Tower. He is done with Pod, and I would think he'll go straight back to Ganon's Tower. Oh. Wait a minute. King's Tomb was not useless. We got Hookshot Cave here.
Oh, our hint a while ago was that King's Tomb was a connector. I was not thinking about Hookshot Cave as being a connector.
Yeah, I thought it was entirely useless, but... Okay, so far it's useless. The Turtle Rock key is interesting. And mail isn't that bad, but not ultimately anything we need. Not sure where Namefaker's going here. It seems like Ganon's Tower is the natural play. Oh, he's going to do what you said. He's going to kill Trinex. And this will give us the answer on what is required and what's not. Whether that pod key is required.
Okay, so yeah, we did just see Cheamo do a map check to see a pendant here on Turtle Rock. So this will not work out so well for Namefake. But it is tempting since once you know where that laser bridge entrance is, it's very fast to get here. And with Buttersword, as we see, the fight's going to go pretty fast as well.
Yes, still not, in my opinion, the right play over something you know you have to do, but not that time-consuming.
Yeah, because unless he finds the map for either here or Pod in Ganon's Tower, he would still be in the position of not knowing which one he had to do, and would likely come here first since this is faster than Helm. But clearly since Cheamo saw Turtle Rock on the map, the Turtle Rock map is available somewhere, but I have no idea where it was.
I mean, Chet is disagreeing with me, and they are all incorrect. You have to climb Ganon's Tower. Ganon is vanilla. You gotta do it. You might get a map that tells you don't have to beat Trinex. No reason not to do that before beating Trinex. You guys are wrong. And you smell bad.
Shots fired. Yeah, it's hard to argue with doing mandatory things as soon as possible, and with already Buttersword and Silver Arrows, there's no way this climb is ever getting any faster.
Yeah, I suppose technically... Well, no, see, that doesn't work, Alazoon, because if... Well, does it work? Yeah, if it were the crystal, that would work. So here's one of the fairies that we hadn't seen, and the final pod key. Still haven't seen the dark bonk rocks behind Link's house or either tablet. Do we even need those? I mean, we know where the pod key is.
The
Still need the
Thieves' Town
thieves.
big
Yeah,
key,
still need the Thieves' Town big key.
which I have not been keeping track of which item locations, which item caves we still haven't found.
We may actually be missing that other item fairy cave with 2 chests. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think we have seen the Waterfall Fairy Cave. We've also not seen the Waterfall Fairy entrance, which could always be vanilla.
Yes, Incoherent is mentioning the birthday paradox, which... Alright, so the Ganon's Tower big key was in Swamp. Cheamo has gone to Ganon's Tower before going to Swamp to get that big key.
I'm not sure the birthday paradox applies here, because that's independent trials, which this is more of a hypergeometric distribution, so...
Well, the point of mentioning the birthday paradox is that it is not strange to see a vanilla entrance or even a vanilla item. Because there are so many, it's likely that at least one will be vanilla. Wow, so we got both the big keys up here.
Wow.
In Ganon's Tower. Is that go mode? I think that's go mode.
I believe that is.
See, you should have climbed Ganon's Tower. What was I saying?
Do the big keys also prove that chat smells bad?
In my opinion, yes. So Namefaker has hit go mode at 2:16-ish. Well, Thieves' Town is the better pick, because you know you gotta do it. Yeah, so Cheamo's gonna do the purple chest, and I'm worried he has maybe mismarked or maybe never seen Swamp.
Yeah, I forget where the swamp entrance was at this point.
Swamp is at Mimic Cave.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay, so he's checking Shovel. None of these checks can be anything required. We know that what Cheamo has left, he needs the Ganon's Tower big key out of the compass chest in Swamp. Then he needs to go upstairs Ganon's Tower to get the final 2 big keys that he needs. This may be the connector to the ledge, I think. I forget, honestly. Oh no, he got the... Yeah, he got the Hera big key. Namefaker never went upstairs Hera. So we haven't seen this yet, but sadly, not going to pay out.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Cheamo has forgotten where Swamp is, because if you're running Crystal Dungeons when you have...
No, I see on his tracker that he has correctly marked the entrance, so he knows where Swamp is. He may not remember how to get back there, though. Or he may just not want to do it without the big key. He may be trying as hard as he can not to orphan the Swamp Big Chest.
I think it's more likely he's just not quite sure how to get there, because why would you be doing Pendant Hera over all but one check in Crystal Swamp?
Well, as far as he knows, he needs a lot of things. He needs 2 big keys. Well, no. Well, what does he need? Yeah, he needs at least 2 big keys. The tracker's saying he doesn't even have the Turtle Rock big key. I don't remember where that was.
Yeah, that might have been in Swamp also. I'm not sure.
I feel like it was earlier than that. Ooh, he's having a bit of trouble with Moldorm there.
Troll Dorm gonna troll.
So unfortunately, it would take some real big mistakes at this point for Namefaker to lose this from here. He has... What is this? Is he getting his...
6th crystal, I believe, right now.
Yeah. In go mode, only has Thieves Town left. Has completed Upstairs GT. So he's several dungeons ahead.
Yeah, and we'll just need to flute to the Mire area to get to the back of Desert, I believe is where Thieves Town was.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And you can even mirror right outside of that entrance and then save and quit in the Dark World to get yourself right to the top of the pyramid after.
Well, no, that's not going to work. We would need to have beaten Aga 1. And
That's right.
We discovered early we did not need to do that.
As chat may have noticed by now, I'm very bad at Keysanity.
So I guess Cheamo is getting the purple chest here. He may do that into Bombos. This was I think he's actually... I think this was the laser eye wall, and he has exited here. So I think he's just forgotten.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's going somewhere in here. No. Yeah, I mean, the only 2 checks left in here are behind the big key, which he doesn't have, so Namefaker is actually in go mode here. He did not need to go up and get that pot key. Yeah, so I think Cheamo has the right idea. I think he's looking for the connector to get him to the Mimic Ledge for Swamp. Well, he's going to check another entrance he hasn't seen. I don't think Namefaker is going to open any chests here in Thieves. There's just nothing he needs. That's too bad, because either a pod or Turtle Rock map would indeed confirm conclusively that chat smells bad.
Yeah, but at this point for Namefaker, I mean, the only safety he doesn't have is the bug net, in case he wants to catch a couple of fairies before he leaves Thieves Town, but... I suspect with the Buttersword Silver's Ganon fight, he won't really need too many safety.
So this is Spike Cave, I guess? No, Mimic Cave. So unfortunately, Cheamo's going everywhere but where he needs to. So Chad is asking about the palette. The reason the Maiden's palette was messed up there is that the palette is shared with the Link sprite. So when you change your Link sprite, it changes the palette for the Maiden sprite. Alright, so last mire key, we can now logically go left side mire if we so choose. And hadn't cleared it already.
If chat wants to start a guessing game about how Ganon is going to make fun of us at the start of the fight, you should do that now that we found our 7th crystal. Or what fun fact he's going to throw at us, I guess.
So Cheamo's cleared this, but he's going through it. I don't remember where this came out that could be... Oh, he has not gone through it.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the other side of this cave. Yeah, it feels like Cheamo is at the point where maybe he's just forgotten the connector to get him up to that Mimic Cave entrance of Swamp Palette.
It's not impossible he's forgotten it entirely. I mean, one of the things up there was the entrance to Spiral Cave. Okay, well, there's the waterfall ferry that we were saying we hadn't seen. It's possible he just never went through the connector. I no longer remember what the connector was that exited at the Turtle Rock Big Chest entrance, which is what he needs.
Yeah, I feel like it was somewhere in the Dark World Lumberjack Bumper Ledge area, somewhere in that chain that they kept running through over it.
Oh, was it the... No, it wasn't Paradox Cave, right? I remember Namefaker mirrored on that ledge and lost his portal. I think it might have been the... I think you might be right. I think it might have been the Elder's House connector at the Bumper Ledge entrance that leads to the Turtle Rock Big Chest exit.
Yeah, definitely something along those lines.
So we've got Namefaker here in the Ganon fight, clinching his victory, assuming he doesn't fall about 20 times.
Yeah, and into phase 3 already with the Butter Sword. Doesn't quite get the torch glitch, but no big deal. And there's the 4th shot. Get your GGs in chat for Namefaker.
Alright, so let's see if I can figure out how to get him in for an interview. And according to the bot, that is a PB by 2.5 minutes for Namefaker in this category, at least on SRL.
Yeah, very nicely done. This seed definitely made you do some running around, with some trollily placed items, especially that Hammer Mitts roadblock that we got into, and all the trouble we had accessing the Dark World early on.
Alright, well, hopefully one of our helpers knows how to get him in for an interview if he wants it. Not yet responded in IRC. Yeah, so unfortunately Cheamo going back to Mire for Big Chest Vitreous and the Green Pendant turn-in. So, Namefaker professing that he is not a native English speaker, but he will come in for an interview anyway.
It's a bad idea to go here.
Or maybe I've misread him. Maybe he meant to say he would, but he doesn't want to. So at least we'll see in the credits here if we have a tightly folded map, as was hoped for by one of our chat members on the pedestal. So Cheamo is not forfeiting, has not said anything in IRC.
It's also a good time to point out that the bracket stages for this tournament are double elimination, so Cheamo has not been eliminated yet, but Namefaker is moving on to the second round. We'll have to check the brackets and see who he gets in the next round.
We may, in fact, get that German interview with Tresco translating. Broken Heart, not a map. Sorry, AA. So, Chad is saying that Namefaker advances to a match against the, I think DT is the 12 seed, so in the name of DT. AA is correct. I said sorry, but I do not mean sorry.
I really hope this is a thing, otherwise
And that's logic. Well, the green pendant turn-in was not useful, but it was in fact logically required.
I need to figure out
Because you need logically all 4 keys to get upstairs and to get to the randomizer room where the bow was. So Cheamo is on the hunt for this connector to swamp.
Yeah, it's going through the portal here, so if it's somewhere in that bumper cave area, this could put him on the right track.
Yeah, I'm all but certain it's the bumper cave entrance he needs, and that's the Elder's house that exits at the Turtle Rock Big Chest. Yeah, so this looks like he's going for it. As far as he knows, he actually hasn't exited the bumper ledge, which was the top exit of Paradox Cave, which he did not have the heart to do the bomb jump for. Yeah, so here's the Elder's house. Hopefully I'm right about where it exits. Yeah, here we go.
fuck. Should've come here. Damn it, if I'd have
So he's on track to finish now. He will get the Ganon's Tower big key out of the compass chest. And the remaining keys he needs are both in the mini Helmosaur room. Yeah, so Namefaker has elected to pass on the interview. Good game to him, and we wish him luck in the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. This is also a good time to point out, while we have a second, that if you have not gotten enough cross keys for the day, and I know I haven't, there are a couple more races scheduled for tonight. I believe starting at 7 and 7:30, as the bracket stages kick off. There are 81 matches that, 40 matches ish that need to be scheduled. 81 participants. So there will be a lot of cross keys going on over the next couple of days as we get this tournament kicked off right.
I will not be around to tell any of you smell bad. My throat is sore from doing comms today and yesterday. I know you're all disappointed.
And we'll actually just, for me to quickly step in, we'll actually broadcast the next race on a schedule as well, which will be Dr. Bobtastic versus Dataplat, a really nice match to kick off round 1 as well. That one will be happening in around 90 minutes, so 7 p.m. Eastern. And that one will be on ZSR as well. We don't have enough commentators for the third match today, which would be Adi Walsh versus Forward Joe. Just because we are tight on volunteers there. But that first match will definitely happen.
Always want to fucking drown
Yeah, so I think those are the only 3 matches I saw scheduled for today, actually. I don't think we have any late night matches. I'm trying to get through here. I figure out where the link to the schedule is.
You are correct, though. The next match is then tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, Walter versus Andy.
And I imagine that one will get a restream.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we
that's
got
a
the schedule
heck
right
of
there.
a
in
first
chat.
round match.
So 2 matches later today, 4 matches tomorrow, first of which will be 4 Eastern. Looks like we got... Not sure whether we'll get restreams for the other 3. Looks like they all almost overlap. There could be another restream later that night. We'll have to see how it shakes out. So... hopefully Cheamo goes straight upstairs again in its tower. The other match that could get restreamed tomorrow, there's risk of overlap. There's Sonicam and Malagord 2.5 hours after that. That'd be sort of tight. 2.5 hours is as these seeds can go that long, as we are seeing. Then after that, there is 3.5 hours later at, what would that be? 7:30, HXC Jetters versus Scary Olive. And 30 minutes after that at 8, Alazun versus Number Play. So one of those could get a restream. Alazun, who is involved in one of these matches, saying that's not correct. What Thursday 20. That's 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And I know when your match is scheduled and you don't. Good job. Anyway, there are matches tomorrow. There are matches today. Try to watch. Oh.
So Cheamo gets through Swamp Palace there, finishing off Argus fairly quickly. And with that Ganon Tower big key, we will expect to see that climb next, where he will find both of those big keys that he needs to finish things out.
He's thinking. This is Spiral Cave. He may actually never have done this. Okay, so he's just thinking about what he wants to do next. Checking his map. Yeah, he had actually never checked that entrance according to his tracker. So I guess he never has done Spiral Cave. Or maybe he just doesn't know where it exits.
We definitely found the exit to Spiral Cave quite a while ago. And I mean, he does have the hint about the Palace of Darkness big key, but not about the Thieves' Town big key. So he really has no idea where that is at this point.
So he had just never been through Spiral Cave.
It's one of those things that you just run into so easily in cross keys that you think you've gone down a particular entrance and then you get distracted by something else and miss out on one or two checks that then become really important.
Yeah, so he's gone upstairs. This is where he needs to go. He will get his go mode in the form of the 2 keys in the mini Helmasaur room. I don't think he actually knows. Oh, no, he got the Turtle Rock map, so he knows that Pod is a crystal. So he knows he needs both of those keys. He knows one is up here.
So, I mean, I did an Insanity entrance randomizer a couple of days ago that took me 3.5 hours to do a PED goal just because I forgot a Light World entrance that was one that I needed. So, you know, it happened.
Yeah, Insanity is not my favorite. I think it's just a little bit more of a gimmick. We won't get into what it does, but it's... I almost want to say more complicated, but really just more silly than this mode.
Yeah, my brain can't keep track of all of those paths, so I'll do one once in a while, but it's not my preferred mode.
I'll put it this way. If you were to have the same amount of information on your tracker for Insanity, you would need to do twice as much tracking. It looks like Cheamo will never get that butter sword on the bumper ledge. So, I don't know what, if any, map tracker Namefaker used, but Cheamo's using the more or less recommended one, which is Ceph's tracker, which is a little bit like a sort of corkboard kind of thing. It's a map of the full light and dark world that you can put sort of stamps on. And it has stamps for all the dungeon entrances plus a bunch of items, and most people use those items in various ways to mark connectors or things they have to go back to. So Cheamo never found the Turtle Rock Big Key. And he must have found Bombos. That was in the waterfall chest, but he does not have it marked on it. Yeah, he's got it. Doesn't have it marked on his tracker. I don't think he ever actually...
I don't remember where the Turtle Rock Big Key was at this point.
Yeah. He doesn't have the mushroom marked on his tracker, but I'm fairly sure he has it. I think I saw the selector option when he had the cursor over the powder.
Yeah, our tracker has it for him, so...
So there's one of his keys, and there's the other. Go mode. Does not need that mini Helmstar key. Yeah, he indeed has the mushroom. So he's skipping chests. He knows he's in go mode. Good sign. Chat pointing out he could have his brain fried enough that he might have mirrored there after getting go mode and forgot that he needs to actually beat Aghanim 2 to get to Ganon, but he didn't do that.
Here's a random question. So normally when a boss is exploding, you can't menu. Can you still quick swap during that time?
So the general rule is that, in fact, it is a hard and fast rule, I believe, that you can only quick swap when you would be able to menu. You can see people menuing during boss explosions or quick swapping during boss explosions. I think because there is a bug in the randomizer. Sometimes you can menu during boss explosions, and I don't know why. Now, quick swap does indeed sometimes work during boss explosions. I don't know whether it's totally random. But you can do it sometimes. I have seen it before. I have done it before.
So bad.
Actually, I could be thinking of something else. Anyway, there is some oddity with bosses where you can sometimes menu and sometimes not. I might be thinking actually of at some point during the crystal drop.
So now we'll see Cheamo's mini boss rush here. Just got 2 crystals to finish off. Quick dip in, well, a slightly less quick dip into Pod, and then an even slightly less quick dip into Thieves Town just to finish off the boss. Not as quick as you would normally hope for at this point in the seed. It is interesting how much of a different skill quick swapping is than your normal menuing that you're used to as an NMG or regular rando runner. But the cross keys veterans are probably actually significantly better at it than people who are relatively new to the mode. It definitely should make things faster, but can also be very confusing if you're not quite used to that form of menu. So there's crystal number 6 for Cheamo, and Thieves' Town is the only dungeon.
Also, apparently we lost Icotype, so I'm joining you for the rest, I guess.
That sounds good.
Right?
Whoops.
Alright. There he is.
I clicked the wrong thing. Let's see, I don't know how much you missed, but I confirmed that Cheamo will face the loser of Alazun versus Number Play. So we've got Alazun scouting his future opponent here.
So basically, if Alazun loses his match, the loser of this match right here gets a free buy, right? Because, like, fighting Alice is, like, free. Pretty much.
I mean, it's not really a buy. You sort of get an extra practice match before the next round, I guess
That's
is what it
fair.
is.
Yeah, that's correct, Alice.
I've never met Alice before today, so I'm glad I'm just joining in on the roasting.
That's good. That's how stuff here works. But yeah, Alice, I could probably play against you having one hand tied to my back.
Fuck off.
So we've got just a blind fight and a Ganon fight left for Cheamo here.
Oh, come on. That's bullshit.
And there's blind down. Pretty on script there for the first 2 rounds at least. A little slow in the third, but only half a second.
Do we have Cheamo's audio on the restream? What is this sound pack he's using? Final Fantasy 3, huh? Never played Final Fantasy 3. I think we can also hear his controller through his audio. He has a very squeaky controller.
This boss music is awesome. I will say that.
So there's our second phase finished, I believe. A couple extra sword slashes just to be safe.
So unless he dies or falls, he should finish sub 3 here.
And there is our fourth arrow.
So he finishes with an SRL time of 2:59.27. We will see about an interview here.
GG to both runners, finishing sub 3 in this case. And I'm asking Jimmy right now. Also, if the stream goes out, don't be surprised. There's a gigantic thunderstorm going on outside. So, yeah. If I get grilled, you all know. But yeah, that was a nice way to hit off the tournament and to start off the brackets with this match between 54th and 75th seed. Both finishing sub 3.
Yeah, and we definitely saw some of the terrible things that entrance rando can do to you. It was just so long that our runners were trying to get into the dark world by having to enter at the pod area and then walk all the way around to get to anywhere on the west side. So just one of those fun things that entrance rando can throw at you.
And Cheamo's actually joining us. Alright, let's move over to the Inhibitor screen and let's talk business. Oh, wow, that's still the presentation from yesterday. Jesus. Okay, nobody saw that, I hope. Right? Nobody saw that. Ever. But yeah, this is the result for today. Namefaker winning the first match of the tournament, the 227.53, followed by Cheamo with the 259.27. And now we're just waiting for Cheamo to join. And there he is. GG.
Thank you. I don't know if it went so well.
All right, so you showed. I feel like you're a little bit new to entrance. How long have you been playing it?
Like 2 weeks or no, a little bit longer. I guess I started just before the qualifiers. I had done like 3 before the qualifiers started, so yeah, I'm pretty new to it. And I haven't been doing rando that long either.
Dang, your birds are going ham.
I do have a bird in the background. Sorry for that.
All right, so with a long seed like this, you can almost forget what was going on. But was there anything sort of major that stuck out to you? It looked for a moment there at the end like you forgot the connector to get to Swamp.
I had never checked where that connector went, unfortunately, and I wish I had done it right away, because then I would have known and I could have went back through it. But I got worried about getting stuck somewhere stupid and having to take the long walk back there because I didn't have good access to Dark World yet. That was really annoying. And then the 2 big keys atop GT was also like pretty annoying to me. I was looking everywhere for them. If I'd have found Swamp sooner, I'd have gone up there and got both of them. Instead, I spent a ton of time looking through stupid pendant dungeons for no reason, clearing 2 of them. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty awful location for those big keys to show up.
Yeah, there was a hint for one of them, Palace of Darkness, but I didn't have GT Big Key was the problem, and I didn't think that Thieves Town would also be up there, so I was checking like everything I could along the way, when I really could have pretty much go-moded Swamp and just got that big key and got out of there.
Yeah, you had an unfortunate mishap there in Paradox Cave where you got bopped around a little, down to half a heart, and could not bomb jump.
Yeah, that was just very poor play on my part, and then I realized how screwed I was, and I had to take the exit out of there, and couldn't check the other one, and I don't know. Yeah.
The even more unfortunate thing is that was the exit to Bumper Ledge, so you were down a sword. That was your sword there.
Yeah, I was wondering how to get there, and I luckily I didn't need to, because I was not probably going to go back to Paradox Cave. I don't even know where it was now. Oh, maybe, I don't know, but...
Yeah, that exit was at the Red Shield shop, the fenced-in shop, just sort of south of there.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that was unfortunate. So a couple mistakes that probably were pretty costly for me. It wasn't too bad a time. My PB for entrance randomizer was like 250 or something like that, so it's not really that bad. But
it also looked like you entirely walked by the Dark Potion shop. I don't think you ever went in that entrance.
So I never go in there. My tracker would agree with that, so that's definitely a mistake.
Yeah, and on your first pass, you did not mirror at the top of the pyramid, which was where the important progression was. Early.
Yeah, that definitely. I got the mirror and just wasn't thinking properly, but I definitely should have been doing more things. I also could have had that mirror quicker if I'd have done the early game a little bit different. I remember like 3 hours ago now. Yeah.
Yeah, that mirror was, I think, in the first chest in Escape, probably.
Yeah, I didn't go like straight into escape when I could have, and instead I walked all around the light world, checked like most of the doors I could have. So yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a few things I could have done a lot better.
Yeah, so you're now in the losers bracket. You will face the loser of the Alazoon number play match, which is going on tomorrow. Do you think you're going to sort of stick with this mode? You're going to participate in community races?
Yeah, I really like it. It's super fun. It's a little more variety over standard item randomizer, so I'm definitely enjoying it. Hoping to get a little bit better. I don't think I have much chance of winning even a match in the losers bracket either, but we'll see. See how it goes. Yeah.
Well, finishing a seed sub 3 is not bad for only having played for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm sub 3 by 40 seconds, so that's pretty good.
So, do we have any other questions for him?
I think I'm all set.
All
So,
right.
anything else stand out to you in that seed? Anything major you wish you had done differently?
Not too terribly much. Possibly, the flippers were kind of late for me. I could have done the quern jump or whatever and checked the shopping mall. Ice Palace was over there and back at T-Rock, so that would have been all right. But I don't know, nothing else. Really.
Another thing I was worried about, you did not continue past the compass room in Ganon's Tower to get the pot key before mirroring, so you were short a Ganon's Tower small key for a lot of that race.
I never even have thought about doing that, but I guess that key in Keysanity is super valuable. I don't know, it just feels like half the time I've got 10 GT small keys and I don't even care, but definitely I don't think I had any going in, so that would have been a good idea. Or I had one or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and we talked about the fake flippering to get to Southeast Dark World really fast, but faster. But that is a rough one with all the bombers around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something I haven't really tried very many times, so it's probably not the best idea to do it in a run either.
All right, so Tresco, I think we are all done here with the match. You want to tell us anything about what's going on ZSR?
Sure thing. So, later today, actually in 50 minutes already, we'll have... Jesus, that thunderstorm. We'll have the next match of round 1, which will be Dr. Bob-tastic versus Dataplat. Norinato and Wolfman will cover the commentary there. And that's the last match we're going to restream today, just due to a lack of commentators. And then we'll be back tomorrow with Walter 4 going up against Andy. That one will be at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then there's a little more stuff coming up. We'll likely have some Ocarina of Time Beta Quest 101 bingo tournament matches in the next few days. Definitely on Friday, but maybe before that. The weekend is full as usual. We are currently planning and scheduling the A Link Between Worlds Any Percent Tournament Grand Final, which will happen in the next 2 days. And yeah, that's it for now. For now, we want to focus hardcore on the Crossworld Keysanity tournament, which means there will be a shit ton of streams of this tournament live here on ZSR, on ZSR2, and as an exception, sometimes on ZSR3 maybe. But that's it for today. I want to give a big shout out to Cool Papa Bell and to Haiku Type for doing the commentary, and also to our trackers, to iBot02 and to Dogrid12. I'm out for today. And
yeah, good game to both our competitors, and thanks for the restream and the co-commentary.
GG indeed to Cheamo and to Namefaker. And I hope you will all tune in 50 minutes for the next match. Thanks everyone for watching, and catch you later.